Welcome back to my channel, everybody. I'm Movie Micah, but today is a different kind of video because I am ranking all 7 Harry Potter books. I don't usually do book rankings. Obviously, my name is Movie Micah, but I am ranking all 8 Harry Potter movies next Monday. Today I'm ranking all 7 Harry Potter books. Go ahead and tell me your ranking in the comments down below. This is my favorite book series of all time, and let's get started with the ranking. Number 7 is Book 5, The Order of the Phoenix. Now, I know a lot of you really love this book, but I find it easily the least entertaining and the most boring in the entire series. There are some great parts like Harry teaching defense against the dark arts, and Umbridge is a great character to hate. Those parts are fantastic elements for story, but it also makes for a less enjoyable book when Umbridge is so evil. The parts that really bored me were, well, everything else. I hated all the parts with Cho Chang, and even the Order of the Phoenix itself wasn't all that interesting for me. The final thing that makes me like this book even less is that they killed off Sirius Black, who might be my favorite character in the entire series. I don't quite know why, but I really do like Sirius Black, and when he was killed, I knew this was my least favorite Harry Potter book. Number 6 is Book 2, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I wish I could put this one so much higher, because it has some great moments. The Forbidden Forest, Tom Riddle's diary, and especially the final fight in the chamber are all great parts that are very enjoyable, but overall I don't think this book quite lives up to most of the series. The plot just doesn't quite compare. Professor Lockhart and Dobby are both really entertaining characters that spice up the book a bit. I like a lot about the Chamber of Secrets, but there's also quite a few plot conveniences. I think they did a good job of setting up stuff throughout the book before the final battle, but there still feels like a lot of luck went into winning the final fight. Phoenix blood heals wounds so Harry can fight again. Also, the sword of Gryffindor was in the sorting hat. It sort of feels a bit like cheating. Those are just minor complaints. I still really enjoy this book, but it lands at 6th place. Number 5 is Book 6, The Half-Blood Prince. This is another that people have much higher in their ranking, but I find Harry easily in his worst state throughout this book. He's constantly making stupid decisions as he tries out a bunch of curses. There are, of course, some great elements like the death of Dumbledore. It's such a good part of the story, although it's heartbreaking, and the questions we all had about Snape, if he's good or not, such a good way to lead into the final book. Most of this one is sort of like Book 5, but this one has more things that I really enjoy, unlike Book 5. Harry Potter books 5 and 6 are both the most boring, while they do have good stories and development, but they both land in the bottom half of the ranking for me. This is easily the most forgettable book in the series for me, because I knew I liked this book, but I could never remember why because I forgot all of it so easily. Half-Blood Prince is 5th place. Number 4 is Book 1, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or Philosopher's Stone, depending on where you live. The very first book in the series is in the middle of the ranking. Half of the books to follow were better, and half of them were not as good. I think this book introduced some amazing characters. Harry, Ron, Hermione, Dumbledore, Hagrid, and so many others are fun to be around. And there were also some great characters that we all really love to hate, like the Dursleys, Draco Malfoy, and Snape. There's a whole lot to hook you on the series right from the first book, and I do think this is basically a perfect one to start out the series. The whole world is so intriguing, and you always want more. It's interesting the way this book is paced because I don't think Harry even gets to Hogwarts until a whole third through the book. The ending is amazing, although I still don't think I fully understand what happened there with the stone. The Sorcerer's Stone is my 4th place. We are in the top 3. Book 4, The Goblet of Fire. The Quidditch World Cup is a really fun way to start, and then the Triwizard Tournament is also such a fun part, and one of the most fun plotlines in the entire book series. I really like the characters they brought in, like Fleur Delacour and Victor Krum. I only have one complaint that sort of made me enjoy the book a little less, and that's that Hermione and Ron were arguing for a bunch of the book, which was pretty annoying and just unneeded. However, the whole ending is fantastic. The part of Cedric and Harry grabbing the cup at the same time is a great ending by itself, but then Voldemort finally getting there and killing Cedric Diggory It's a really emotional and epic ending to a very entertaining book. Also, the plot of Barty Crouch Jr., disguised as Mad-Eye Moody, was a very interesting side plot. The Goblet of Fire is a great book, and it gets my third place. Number 2 is Book 7, The Deathly Hallows. I really think this book is a great way to close out the series, and for me, this book is nearly perfect. I really love the ending, especially when Draco comes back to the good side, and when Harry finally gets rid of Voldemort once and for all. I also really think it's interesting how Harry died and came back, although I've never fully understood how. Every character is amazing in the final battle, like Neville Longbottom finally getting some awesome moments. The first half is definitely not some of the most fun parts of the series, but it is a great story when they have to keep switching who wears the locket Horcrux. It's pretty interesting how they barely even got to Hogwarts throughout this one. I really like the way they closed out the series, and The Deathly Hallows is my second favorite. I do still think there's one more book in this series that's above the conclusion. And that number 1 is Book 3, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This is my favorite book of my favorite series, and it is my favorite book of all time. There are so many elements that are so much more enjoyable. First off, we have Lupin, who is easily the best defense against the dark arts teacher. What I really love is how we get to learn about Harry's father and Snape when they went to school. Everything about the Marauders map and Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs, it's all just super interesting to me because it gave us a new view on the world that I love looking through. Even better than that is the Time Turner stuff. I love everything with the Time Turner. We go through a bunch of scenes twice from different perspectives, and I love all of that. The Time Turner segment is one of my favorite parts in the whole series. Also, this book introduces Sirius Black, which, like I mentioned, might be my favorite character in the series. I love everything about Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and it's my favorite book. Period. Thanks for watching. That was my ranking of all 7 Harry Potter books. Go ahead and tell me your favorite Harry Potter book in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, click that like button and subscribe so you won't miss out on my ranking of all 8 Harry Potter movies. Thanks for watching. This is Movie Micah signing off, and I'll see you next time.